It's about the Key ESOL strategies. And even though it talks about updates, this was done earlier in the school year. That is why you have all that. And the with the philosophy you can do, you also got the links to your actual students with their can do's according to their proficiency level. And these are basically the same language development standard statements for social instructional purposes within the school setting for language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. So we all have the same standard, but per content area. So it's English language learners communicate information, ideas, and concepts necessary for academic success in the content area of language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. We all are sharing the same standard. And it will be good for you to add this standard to your lesson plans. So just in case you have it. This is a reminder that our fourth quarter is going to be the ESOL task is on writing only, and it's going to be begin on the 30th of May and will end on the 10th of June, probably before that time. And these are the 6 key ESOL strategies: the visuals, sentence and paragraph frames or starters, learning by doing, the modified graphic organizers, collaborative conversations, and direct vocabulary instructions. Visuals, we can use visuals because they are concrete. They show students things that we want them to learn. It's easier to remember a movie than to remember a teacher saying something. So integrating movies or pictures or realia or things that they can sense better, instead of saying things, it's easier for them to grasp the concept. Sometimes we pronounce differently. We have different accents. I have a very strong Hispanic accent, but some of us have other kind of accents. And if we can show the visuals to support what we're saying, they're going to grasp the concept or the concepts better. And the language, which is our latest or utmost goal. And we use visuals to provide the complete image for students to speak and write, because that's the goal. And it also lowers the affective filter. When the student is very worried because they cannot utter a word in English, their affective filter is very high and their learning disposition is very low. But when they feel free and safe to communicate, even though they can make mistakes, that is going to lower their affective filter, and they will be more prone to learn and acquire the second language and take risks in participating in your classes. Graphic organizers, because that's something that helps us all organize our thoughts. And when we're introducing new concepts, new vocabulary, these are very helpful. The sentence or paragraph frames or starters, those enable students to master different structures of the language, and they can be used either to write or to speak. So those are very helpful for students who are learning a second language. These are the levels. For example, if you want to say a level 1, let's say Justin, he's in the 6th grade. I think this is his level. This is the level of Stephanie Cabrera. This is the level of Luzwin Gamarro Gonzalez. Then we have level 2, and you have these numbers, and following the numbers is the English proficiency level. So according to the level, the higher the level, this is already a student here, doesn't have the red here, but a student here or here, he is ready to be in any class because they are already mastering the language in all of its aspects. And we are to encourage collaborative conversations. We can use the sentence starters or the paragraph frames. We can use visuals, and we can have them sit in round tables or elbow partners or number heads, whatever strategy that you want to use, but it's good for them to communicate in the target language, which is English, because they need to hear the language to produce the language and to clarify, argue, and explain, to communicate ideas with others. If they don't hear, if they don't understand what you're saying, sometimes you will have to repeat. Sometimes I ask you, excuse me, because I don't understand what you're saying because of our different accents. So when they are like, they are loading, they are actually loading the information that you are giving them because they need to understand what you're saying. And if they do not understand, then they are going to ask you if their affective filter is low. Does that make sense? Thank you. So those are collaborative conversations. Look and learn and listen, to disagree or agree, to respond. I hear, you can use those sentence starters to say, respond, I hear you say, or what I use the most is, can you repeat what he say? Or can you repeat what he said or what she said? And then I make another student repeat what they hear or what they heard, because that is a way to restate what someone else is saying and make sure that they understood what they heard and the meaning of the content of what they heard. And learning by doing, it's easier to, instead of telling them what to do, having them do it by themselves. Knowledge that is actually implemented is much more likely to be acquired from learning by doing, like John Dewey said, than from learning by reading, listening, or even thinking. And this was said by Pfeiffer and Sutton, but learning by doing is a concept that, and a strategy that John Dewey came up with. And you learn better when you're doing things instead of telling you, okay, you can do that and that and that and that. No, hands-on. So because in the process, you're going to get it and you're going to understand it. And then you will be able to produce it and reproduce it, which is the main goal. And then direct vocabulary instruction, which is the last one. You want them to understand the concepts that you're teaching. So have them work with that vocabulary, even though it might seem to be a little bit like under grade level, it is not, because they are below grade level for the most part. They need to understand the vocabulary and they need to be, to make it theirs. So if they make it theirs, they will be able to use it and transfer that vocabulary to other content areas. That is the importance of teaching with all of the intention of teaching vocabulary. And remember, it's different tiers, tier 1, 2, and 3. So the technical words, the words that we use on a daily basis, and the academic words. And for the most part, this is a refresher. You have all of the links already on your emails. And that's it.